everyone, I'm Danielle Denise and welcome to my channel. I'm a new grad registered nurse and an entry-level Master's of Science in Nursing student to become a psychiatric and mental health nurse practitioner, back in my kitchen for an impromptu video to fill you in on some of the Nclex stuff that I left out in my last video. Especially the fact that you don't need this, you might not even need this, and a few other things that I feel like you should know before going into your Nclex. So I felt like my last video was really long, and like if you didn't watch it all the way through or skipped ahead, you might have missed some important points. So I wanted to come on today to kind of highlight those points and fill in some of the gaps that I left, and also tell you guys some of the things that I felt like you should know that I left out. So I'm also going to go through this video in the same chronological order, basically just telling you guys how I prepared for the test, what I did the day of, the day before, during the test, and after the exam. When I go over what I studied, I'm gonna tell you a few more things about UWorld that I left out, some more things about Mark Klimek's lectures that I feel like you should know as well, and just going into like how I prepped the day before the exam, the night before, the day of, what like techniques I used while taking the test, and what I did after. So I feel like all of that's important. I don't want this video to be as long as that one, so hopefully I can stop running my mouth as much, but we'll see. Just kidding. Before I get into how I studied, once again, these bots, they don't let up, y'all. This is, you know what? This is actually an important tip before the Nclex as well, because you'll probably watch a lot of Nclex videos and you will see a bunch of bots in the comments. Like, they are out of pocket. These bots have gotten out of hand. Not them saying the Nclex made their husband divorce them. What? They're doing too much with the fake messages. Y'all are getting blocked. Like I said, I was gonna make a YouTube video just about how to avoid their scams, but here's a quick rundown. Anybody leaving a WhatsApp number under your comment, fake, don't trust it. Anybody telling you about a Mr. Smith, a Mr. Toller, Mr. whoever else, a Miss Bethany Frankel, whoever that helped them, you don't need that. They're trying to scam people out of like thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous. And they all say the same things, but under different account names. And I can't. The thing is I tried to block them, I tried to delete them, but somehow they come back anyway with a new name, but it's usually like the same people. I showed you in the last video. It is so annoying. Like, I can't keep up. And if I try to block certain phrases, it blocks when you guys, like as real people, come on and say, hey, I passed my Nclex too. Hey, I just took my Nclex. And I don't want to miss the real interactions from genuine subscribers, like trying to get rid of these bots. So they're there. They're probably always just going to show up in any video that says Nclex. Please ignore them. Please don't trust them. Save your money. Mark Klimek, like I said, is on YouTube for free. Somebody re-uploads his videos every now and then. UWorld is pricey, but there are other options. Please ignore the bots. Anywho, how I studied. So like I told you guys in the beginning, I tried to use Saunders. I tried to use UWorld. I was using too many resources. When I brought it down to just two, that's when I was most successful. I ended up only using UWorld and Mark Klimek. So that's what I want to go over. Some of the things about UWorld and Mark Klimek that I feel are really important to take away from those two resources, and some things that you can do to really help and aid in your studying. So like I said in the last video, what's really important with UWorld is just reading the rationales. I could not think of that word in the last video, but that's what's most important. Don't focus on your scores. It can be discouraging in the beginning, but you will improve as long as you're reading those rationales. I personally, like I said, didn't type out all my rationales. I was just reading heavily. If there was anything that I really felt like I had a hard time understanding, then I would go ahead and type it out. Also, what I left out that I wanted to share was a little search engine on UWorld. You can actually type in a topic, like say you wanted to learn more about Graves' disease or something like that. You could type it in the search bar and it brings up a bunch of questions that involve Graves' disease and shows you more rationales pertaining to Graves' disease. What I also noticed with using their little search bar, search engine situation, is that they give you questions that they didn't ask you. And I don't know if they're just questions that are reworded or just like they have a larger Q bank than what they offer you. but you get to see more questions and more styles of questions than just what's given to you in your Q bank. But you don't have to. It's not required. Like, you'll be fine with just the 2,000 questions. So that's it with UWorld. What I really want to talk about next is Mark Klimek. So the thing about this wonderful man, honestly, Mark Klimek, if you're sponsoring people, please feel free. I am very open to convincing people to take your class. I did not take his in-person class, but honestly, if you have the means to do so, go for it. I'm sure he gives up-to-date information. Like, the recordings, I think, that are up, that people keep uploading to YouTube or wherever other website that I don't trust, like, girl, just wait for it to get uploaded onto YouTube again. The information that I think he gives in those is a little bit dated, but honestly, people are still listening to them and it's helping them pass, so it works. I've gotten a lot of questions about whether or not you should watch all of his videos or just like a few important ones. Like I said in the last video, if you don't watch any of his other videos, choose the prioritization and delegation lecture, because he goes through that, which is very big on the Nclex. And then he also goes through how to guess on the Nclex. Like, there's going to be a lot of questions that you feel like you have no clue what they're asking you or what they're talking about. And there's topics that we just can't fill our brain with all of that information. Like, there's no way you're going to know everything. So he really does help you out in that lecture. However, I also feel like throughout each of his lectures, there's a lot of gems that he drops. Like, if you have the time, it'll take you about 12 hours, I think, to get through all of them. Well, that might have been on 2 times speed. But if you do have the time, like, space it out during your entire studying process and go back and listen to the lectures again that you feel are most helpful or that you need to go over and are your weakest areas. Some of the points that I want to reiterate are like, when you really don't understand a question, just reread it and pay attention to what the question is asking you. Most likely it's going to be AdPi, so you're going to assess first, then do some type of planning, and then an intervention, blah, 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 blah. Nursing stuff, fun, yay. But you want to be able to distinguish the vocabulary when they're asking you, what do you want to do first versus what is the best option? So first is usually going to be like assessment, unless they gave you some assessment info within the question. Then you're going to be looking for like an intervention. But if they give you something for what's best, that's going to be totally different than what you're going to do first, usually. Like, it's rarely ever the same. Another tip that really helped me out that Mark gave is that, like, when you're given a pharm question or a drug that you have no clue what it is, take the drug out of the question and see what the question is also asking you, because it might just be common sense. Like, because Mark said, and I hope that I explained this right, is that the Nclex is trying to test you on basic nursing knowledge, and they're going to give you just a med that nobody really knows, because they're not trying to ask you about that med. They're trying to see if you know how to be a good nurse. So don't let that catch you up either. The last 2 Mark Klimek points that I want to bring up are my favorite. The first one is that when you choose an answer, stick with that, like, trust your gut, and only change your answer if you can come up with a great enough reason, not even good enough, but a great enough reason as to why that other answer you're thinking of is better than your gut answer. Because most of the time, you're going to change your mind, but that first answer was the right answer. I mean, in the beginning, that wasn't true for me, because I was just choosing stuff and then I was like, honestly, when I first started studying, y'all, I was really like, something in my spirit just says it's this answer. And then UWorld would be like, incorrect. But later on down the line, once I started reading the rationales more and learning more or relearning more, I was going with my gut and I couldn't always figure out why, but I was getting those questions right that only like 11% of people got right, that only 20%, 30% of people got right. I was still missing some questions where 75% of people got them right, but still, like, don't go changing your answers when you have your gut choice already chosen. Don't, just stick with your gut. The second thing is that when it comes to select all that apply questions, don't go choosing extra answers because you think the Nclex is trying to trick you. They are, but don't choose more than what you think is necessary. Like, something that I was doing, I was literally stereotypical Mark Klimek student example, is like, I'd see like an extra med or something in a select all that apply or an extra intervention, and I'm like, that sounds good. Like, why else would they put that there? I have no clue what it is or what it's supposed to help with, but why else would it be there? I should pick that too and get the whole thing wrong because they don't give you partial credit for your select all that applies. And I'm just choosing extra stuff because I think, oh, why else would they put it there? It has to be there for a reason. No, it's there to trick you. That's the reason. Stick with your gut and let that be that. Ultimately, it's just better to be safe than sorry. Hey everyone, Future Danielle here. I'm currently editing this video that you're watching as we speak, and I'm still getting an influx of questions from the last video. I truly did not expect that video to do as great as it's been doing. It's at like 10,000 views in less than 2 weeks, so thank you so much. There are just some things that I wanted to cover, but the two things that I want to add, number one is that, like Mark Klimek said, going into the Nclex, don't expect 75 questions, like expect the unexpected, because if you hit 76 and that starts to discourage you and knocks you off your game, you're not going to do too well. Like, it's going to mess up your performance. So expect to get them all. That's very important. Lastly, I keep getting the question of how many questions did I actually do using UWorld and studying. I did about 75, or that's what I planned to do per day, was 75 questions a day. But some days when I was studying all day, no real set structure, I was doing 150 plus questions. So a lot. And that was helping me sometimes, or hurting me sometimes more than helping me. Hurting me because I don't think I was as absorbing as much, but helping because it set me ahead of schedule and left me with more time to review. So those are the things that I want you to know for sure, just in case you don't watch anything else. Any other questions, be sure to leave those in the comment section. I'll do a follow-up Q&A video and I will still answer them in the comment section. Just the Q&A will be for other people as well, just in case they have the same question and just want an easier way to access it. So that is all. Enjoy the video. Those are the big points that I wanted to retouch or just cover as far as studying. The next few things is just like preparing for the exam and when you're taking the test and then after the exam. Okay, you guys, final interjection. I'm on vacation, so I didn't bring any of my camera or equipment or anything. So I just want to make sure that I get this video out with as much important information as possible. The last question that I got was, how did I know I was ready to take the Nclex? Honestly, it was the point where I felt like I had done all that I could do. My test date was already set, and I just trusted myself and trusted my capabilities and had my faith in God that I was ready. You know, I went through nursing school. I had done it all. I put in the work to study for the Nclex, and I just went for it. I too watched other videos, and they basically said, like, you'll never be completely ready necessarily, but you'll know. So trust your gut, trust that you've done all that you can do, and give it your best. Good luck. So the night before the exam, I know a lot of people say that they get really anxious and they have a hard time going to sleep. They're just really nervous. It's not going to be good going into that exam sleep deprived and not feeling your best. So I say the day before, try to wake up early, do as much as you can throughout the day. That is also relaxing, but you know, keeping your body awake and keeping that normal circadian rhythm. Try not to do too much that day so that you can get a good night's rest the night before. But if you're one of those people that's going to be anxious the day before because you're not studying, go ahead and look over a few notes, but don't do anything excessive. You're not about to learn everything you had learned in nursing school in less than 24 hours. Like, don't do the most. You've been putting in that work for a couple months or a couple weeks. Chill out. The day of the exam, whether you're taking your test in the morning or the afternoon, don't switch up your normal routine. Do what you usually do. Eat your favorite breakfast. If you're a breakfast person, I am, and I'm always eating breakfast sandwiches. Like, I can eat that for the rest of my life and be fine, which is actually what I do. But that was the routine that I had to have, and that's what I did the day of. Don't switch it up. Just do your thing. It'll help you stay in a good frame of mind. It's just your normal routine. It's a regular day. When you go to the exam center, make sure you already know where you're going. Like other videos have said, like, go check out the space before or where the location is so that you're not lost or late to your exam, because they will turn you away. Me personally, like I told y'all in the first video, I chose a location where I had already taken my RBT exam and I had a good experience there. I passed there. I knew where their location was. I love the area. Like, the homes nearby are really pretty. It's just nice to look at on the way there. And it was just, that's why I chose that one. But if you don't know where you're going before, check it out. See how long it's going to take you so that you're not late. Be familiar with the area. Also, going there, you don't need too much stuff, so don't like bring a bag, a backpack, all that extra stuff. I literally walked into the testing center with like my phone, my keys, and my ID, because you need that. Oh, and my PRN snack. I brought a snack just in case. People were like, they let you bring snacks into the exam. They let you bring snacks to the testing center so that when you're on your break, you can go in there and eat your snack. But could I have eaten my snack? Actually, I don't know, because I feel like they probably would have thought that something was on the wrapper. So I take that back. I did bring a snack, though, just in case. I thought like I was going to have to do like 100 and something questions, because when I get hungry, I don't test very well. Like, I need to eat. So that was the plan. Luckily, I finished in the 75 because I need to eat. But if you can't bring the snack, I apologize if you can't. Just your keys, ID, and phone. They put your phone in a little plastic bag, throw that in the locker. They take your keys, put that in the locker, and then you take a new key. And your ID, I think you also put that in the locker after they verify that it's you. When you're taking the test, it's all about balancing that anxiety, because you already know what you know. You've already studied very hard. Don't let that anxiety get to you. So take your deep breaths before you start that first question. Keep those breathing exercises going while you're taking the exam. You don't want to be too tachycardic. And you don't want your anxiety to heighten even more while you're taking this exam, because it's going to cloud your judgment. To be quite honest, your judgment will be impaired if you're too anxious during the exam. So when you notice that you're either rushing through questions or you are panicking, just take a moment to yourself, take some deep breaths, and try not to rush it. I think I ended up taking like 2 hours the entire time being at the testing center. There are people that have gone in and taken the test in like 45 minutes. There are people who have gone in and taken the whole time. Just take your time. They gave you time. Use it if you need it. And if you notice that you're still going fast but you feel okay, then fine. But just manage that anxiety during that exam. You don't want it to mess up your testing ability. Once the test is over, so you want to know how to find out that you're a nurse. You want to know about where your license will be. Okay, so if you don't want to wait for your Pearson VUE quick results, what you can do, because I found out before even having the option to get my quick results, was the Board of Nursing's website. So I live in California, the CABRN, they have their own site. But if you live in any other state, I found out that the website Nurses, or NURSYS.com, they can search through any state's Board of Registered Nursing license lookup situation. You can use that. I'll leave a link in the description box. And it usually, some people say that theirs have showed up the same day. Mine took about 30 something hours. So I took my test on a Thursday. It wasn't up Friday, but it was up Saturday by like 1 to 3 a.m. I found out at 3 a.m. because I woke up out of my sleep. Okay, I was a mess. So those are your options for that. Or if you just want to know a little tricky trick after you take your exam, everybody knows about it, the Pearson VUE trick. Apparently it's supposed to be a secret, but people have videos up showing you how to do it. Like I said in the last video, people kind of mess up on knowing how to do it, and they think that they did it when they didn't, and then they get discouraged because they're like, no, it tried to charge me. No, it didn't. It just showed you how much you're supposed to pay, and then you click submit again, and then that's when you'll see if they really tried to charge you, or if it's gonna say our records show that you have already scheduled an exam, blah, 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 the good pop-up. So yeah, that's that on that. If you have any further questions, like I said, hit that comment section down below. I will be there. If I don't answer the same day, then it might be the next day, or the next day, or the next day, because I'm working now. but I will get to those comments. I will try, as long as you're not a bot. I'm not answering your comments. In fact, I'm gonna try to delete it until you come back. Damn, I've had it up to here with them, man. But man, I'm feeling defeated against an AI. That's that on that. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so and turn on that notification bell so that you don't miss an upload. And I will see you in that next upload. Bye.